What happens when you get the powers of a literal god, but you're also completely convinced that all your power is absolutely useless? Well, today we are diving deep into one of the coolest character conflicts in DC lore, the walking, flying paradox that is Vartus Nox. This line right here from the source material, man, this is everything. It's the key that unlocks this entire character. It's the clash between the sacred and the profane, all bundled up inside one incredible being. And that's really the question we're tackling, isn't it? What happens when you give someone the power to save the world, but also give them the absolute divine certainty that it's all pointless anyway? That's the puzzle we are going to piece together today. All right, so to really get a handle on Vartus Nox, we need to put a name on this internal war that completely defines who he is. It is the absolute center of his character. And here it is, the Divine Soldier Paradox. You've got to picture it like this. In one corner, you have the power of a god, enough to save everyone. And in the other corner, you have the bone-deep conviction that everyone is doomed no matter what you do. That is the razor's edge that Nox is constantly walking. And it's what makes him such a fascinating twist on the classic hero. He has all the power in the world, but zero hope. So how in the world do you create a person so perfectly at war with themselves? Well, I can tell you it was no accident. To really get the paradox, we gotta dissect the messed up, unethical formula that made him. Okay, so it all kicks off with a super shady, covert super soldier program. I mean, of course it does, right? It's run by the notoriously corrupt organization Neo Geist Nihilist. We'll just call him NGN. They cooked up this magical quote-unquote serum called the Sanguine Infusion, and their #1 test subject? A man named Julian Vance, who was about to become our guy, very Vartus Nox. This Sanguine Infusion was basically a two-part cocktail. First up, the conduit. And this is wild. It's a vial containing the actual preserved divine blood of St. Gennarius, a legit, immensely powerful holy relic. Then, part 2, you've got the catalyst. And that's Nox's own unique mutated biology, the Vartus Nox system, which was already kind of hardwired to sense doom and disaster. So let's focus on just that first part of the recipe, that divine blood, because the power-up Nox got from this is, well, it's just staggering. That holy blood just sent his physical stats through the roof. We're talking about the strength to lift cars and punch straight through reinforced concrete walls. He's got talons that can shred steel plating like it's paper. And get this, a healing factor so powerful that the magic in his blood literally knits his wounds back together. The guy is basically a walking, flying tank. But here's where it gets really nuts. The infusion didn't just make him stronger, it supercharged his natural abilities into actual magical weapons. Just being near him creates this doom aura that literally saps the hope out of people. It's like his pessimism is contagious. And when he really lets loose, it's not a punch, it's a divine judgment that makes his enemies experience all of their sins at once, paralyzing them with their own guilt. How do you even fight that? And if you somehow manage to push him to his absolute physical or emotional limit, he's got one more trick up his sleeve. A nuclear option called the liquefaction effect. The saint's blood in his veins miraculously liquefies, his eyes blaze with holy fire, and he unleashes a kinetic shockwave that can level an entire city block. That is the peak of his power, and it is just devastating. So he has all this power, right? The ability to step in, to save people, to protect them. And yet, despite all of that, this single quote tells you the real story. Deep down, the power didn't change the man. In fact, it just made everything so much worse. So, with all of this incredible power to save people, what's the problem? What's the catch? Well, let's flip the coin over and look at the other side of this equation, because all that power came with a truly terrible price. See, the infusion gave him the body of a divine soldier, but it didn't touch his mind. At his core, he is still Vartus Nox, and that means he's defined by a deep, unwavering nihilism. He doesn't just think things might go bad. He has a fundamental, absolute belief that everything and everyone is headed for ruin. It's a psychological prison he can't escape. And here is the cruelest twist in this whole story.
His superpower upgrade was actually a curse. Before, he had this vague disaster intuition, a bad feeling. But after the infusion, it became what the lore calls the Oracle's burden. It's not a bad feeling anymore. It's genuine divine precognition. He doesn't just sense a building is going to collapse. He literally sees the faces of every single person who is about to die, and he feels the weight of their final moments.
So this is the absolute kicker, the crucial point. The divine power didn't give him any hope. It did the complete opposite. It gave him concrete, undeniable divine proof that his nihilistic worldview was correct the entire time. Every vision is just the universe screaming at him, "See, you were right. It's all doomed." Okay, so let's bring both sides of this impossible equation together. Let's look at the final, tragic picture of what Vadis Nox ultimately became. Visually, he is the paradox in the flesh. As he moves through the urban decay of Neogeist to Nihilist, his body actually gives off this faint, crimson, holy light. He's literally a beacon of sacred power in a world that he is 100% certain he cannot save. It is a beautiful and totally heartbreaking image. And that brings us right back to the beginning, to the question at the core of what makes him so unique. Most superheroes are defined by hope, right? By the belief that they can make a difference. Vadis Nox is the exact opposite. He's a character who's been given every single tool to be a savior, but he's psychologically trapped by divine proof that salvation is a complete lie. So what is he? A hero cursed with nihilism or a monster blessed with divinity? The truth is he's both, and that is the heartbreaking, unforgettable center of the divine soldier paradox.